What if the only thing standing between you and the life you want is the story you've been telling yourself? In today's conversation, we're talking about building confidence when no one believes in you, why successful people stop saying, I can't, and start asking, how can I? The power of mentors and lifelong learning, and how one decision can completely change the direction of your life. Helping us unpack all of this is entrepreneur, author, speaker, podcast host, and leadership coach Diane Lampe. From starting with no college degree and no connections to becoming a successful business leader, Diane proves that success begins the moment you believe it's possible. If you've been waiting for the right time to chase your goals, this conversation is for you. Let's get into it. Hello, Diane, and thank you for joining the Influence Exchange today. How are you?
I'm amazing. How are you today, JV?
I'm doing fantastic and excited to have you aboard. And today's a special day. This podcast interview is actually my 50th episode. So I'm
Woo!
excited. Yes, I'm excited.
Congratulations. Kudos
Thank you.
to you.
Thank you. Yes, let's clap to that.
Yes.
I want to start. You started up the ladder in corporate America. No connections, no degree, no shortcuts. And then something happened. You got a promotion. Something happened in your backyard. But before we dive into that moment, I want to ask you, who was Diane Lampe prior to you climbing up the corporate America ladder?
That's a great question because I think I was I would say was somebody that wanted things, but didn't have the confidence because I didn't have the degrees. I didn't have all those things. And, think about it. Over 20 years ago, I was a woman with no degree, right? No
Sure.
connections. And in that era, time or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was up against a lot. And
Sure.
I just thought, you know what? Why not? What do I got to lose? And
Yeah.
because I could either do something about it or complain about it for the rest of my life. So I decided to do.
That's great. And then you started working from the bottom up.
Yep.
You climbed the ladder.
Yep.
Eventually, you became a director of sales and marketing. In what industry?
Believe it or not, I was the bottled water industry. That's at the time, that was a huge industry.
Sure.
Plastic injection molding. How about that?
Interesting. Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. So you worked your way up. One day you got a promotion.
Yep.
You went home to your backyard
Yeah.
and something happened. Let's talk about that moment.
Yeah, I think I want to back up a second because when I tell people plastic injection molding, they look at me and they go, "You."
That's too funny.
Right. So
I would say, should we talk more about that or just move forward?
I agree.
Okay, so let's talk about it then. What exactly is?
Well, you see the
Oh
bottle
my.
caps being made, the
Yes.
plastic ones. You see them in bottles, all
Yeah.
types of things.
Yes.
And I was at the beginning, and I remember somebody said to me, "Plastics is the answer. You're going to do that." And I'm like, "Really?" And she goes, "Just do it."
Yeah.
And I just looked at her, and I'm like, "Okay." And it was it ended up then being in the bottled water coolers, the plastic injection molding, the bottle caps, the 5-gallon bottle caps is
Mhm.
what I really brought to the table from the company that I was at that got me corroded and moving up the ladder. So, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
That's
know.
interesting. And how many years were you in the company?
That one where I got promoted, well, let me back up a second. I was at another company that was corporate America, Fortune 50 company.
Yeah.
I was in customer service. I was doing amazing. I
Sure.
was learning so much and I was doing so much there, but I was never going to get what I wanted.
Sure.
I was never going to get that sales shot.
Sure.
And so I had to leave there. to get what I wanted. And then when I went to the other company, I went there and they were hiring me for customer service. And I
Sure.
said, hey, I want to get into sales. If you can't do that for me, then,
Yeah.
this is not going to be a match.
Right.
And so they said, okay, so if you come on board, our customer service department is a mess,
Hmm.
fix it up. And I'm like, okay, I
Okay.
can do
Yeah.
that.
Sure.
And so JV, it's funny because in school, when I was younger, I used to get these check marks for talking too much,
Yeah.
and now it works in my favor.
Yeah. Exactly. Check. Check.
Check that
Right.
box, check
Right.
that box.
Right.
And
Right.
so to move forward on that, then there's a funny story how I got that shot. I mean, we could talk about it later if you ever want
Yeah.
to know. I'll tell it to you. But I
Sure.
took my shot, and that's what got me the promotions because I was willing to do what other people were not. Like there was a product that nobody wanted to sell,
Hmm.
and the owner of the company remembered what he told me, and he said to me, he said, Diane, nobody wants to sell this. You think you can do something with it?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, give it to me. I'll
Sure.
try it. And
Yeah.
because of that, and I think this is important for everybody listening to take your shot. Because of that very first year, I remember we're 20 years ago.
Right.
Well, they didn't have AI to do all this stuff and all. I had to figure it out. And
Sure.
I did. In that first year, we did over $1 million in sales in the
Wow.
product. And so, bam, that opened the door. But the question is, I asked a lot of people, what would you have done? A lot of people would have said, I'm not quite ready.
Hmm.
I'm going to wait. And I decided I was going to wing it and just let it rip and see what happened. So it
Sure.
worked out.
It did work out. Look at the first year, $1 million in sales. That is
Think of that. It was over
impressive.
20 years ago. So,
Right.
it's a nice
Yeah.
size for a plastic injected molded cap.
Exactly. Yeah. And think about that. And again, 20 years ago, $1 million today is probably $20 million.
Who knows?
If,
Yeah.
if you do the
But
math, right?
I
Yeah.
learned a lot, JV, from that.
Sure. 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 And
Really
that's
did.
good. And let me say this, what important lessons you learned at those times 20 years ago?
To never quit on your dreams
I love that.
because most people would have just curled up and I could have said, because my inner voice was saying at that
Yeah.
time, like, what's the sense, in your mind, like, what's the sense? I don't have the dream. I don't have the education. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. We all have our little things that we say in our brain. And so I had to change that and I had to flip the switch to to believe that I could do it. And the first
Mm.
thing that happens is belief. That
Sure.
is the main thing, right?
Yeah.
If you don't believe in yourself, it's hard for others to believe in you. You
That
have
is
to
correct.
sell
Yeah.
yourself first.
You absolutely do. And it's critical because you have to, number one, I think more important than anything else, have the right mindset,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You got to have the right mindset and be motivated. Wake up every morning and say, I'm going to sell to X amount of people. And then the following day, let's continue to grind.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for you that you did it. And we're talking today.
And I
So
want
this,
more people to understand they can do it too.
yes, that is true.
You know,
That is true. Yeah.
anybody that's on here, if you got a dream that's big enough, you can do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. And let me tell you, I mentioned this in prior episodes. It took me 3 years to create the Influence Exchange podcast.
Mhm.
And for many different reasons, for being judged,
Okay.
for saying, why are you doing this? It's going to suck. Just the negativity. And I had all those thought processes going through my mind at that time. And it took the year one. Oh, I do it next time. Year two. And then year three, I finally said, I'm moving forward. I did a lot of self-believing in myself, a lot
Yeah.
of journaling.
Yes.
And I said one day, I'm doing it. Who cares?
Right.
Who cares?
Right.
And move forward 50 episodes later. to me, it's a blessing and I'm excited. So I could definitely relate.
Yeah, and you should be proud of yourself because,
Yeah.
I tell people like, they laughed at me.
Yeah.
I'm telling you because they would laugh like, "Diane,
Hmm.
really?" And
Right.
and I'm sure you probably came up against that as well. But it's so funny because now they're not laughing. It's like
Yeah.
to live the life that I love. And the thing that I can say for you, JB, you're living your life. You're not going through it. There's a difference.
Right. Right.
So
I
you
love
get to
that.
do some exciting things like I
Yeah.
didn't get to do.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love interviewing people and just meeting different people around the world. It's fascinating to me.
I'm
And
glad.
yeah, it's a growth process as well. So it's good.
Guess what? The host learns as well because I
Yeah.
know when I'm talking to people, I'm learning from other people all the
That
time,
is true. Yeah.
right?
So true. All right. So let's now dive in
Okay.
to that moment. Your corporation said, Dan, here's your promotion. You got a raise, you got a new title, you're excited at the moment. You go home, you go to your backyard. What happened?
It was just so interesting and so surreal because when I walked out that day, I didn't even know why I was walking in the backyard, but I walked in the backyard and I just basically went like this. I'm like, this can't be it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to go to work 9 to 5
Mhm.
and live for the weekends. I knew I was meant for more. I
Sure.
could see it. I could just see it. And I'm like, I got to do something about it. It's it's that feeling that it was that moment. Either you're going to shrivel up or you're going to go do something about it.
Mm.
You're going to quit complaining about it or you're going to do something. And believe me, I was really grateful for what I had achieved. And I was hoping, my hope was also to have show other women and other people that men that didn't have degrees, you could still do it anyway at that time. It
Yeah.
just took grit and making it
Mhm.
happen and be willing to persevere,
Sure.
right? And so when I walked in that back home in my work in my house that day, I remember I just went to sleep and then about two
Mhm.
o'clock in the morning I woke up. I was just stirring around and I put TV on. And now remember, this is over 20 years ago.
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
So when I put the TV on, there were infomercials at the time at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yeah.
there was Tony Robbins,
Yeah.
Sharon, 30 days you could change your life. And I'm
Of
like,
course.
I want to change my life. So
Yeah.
I ordered it. And then as soon as I got it, it was like gold. I was good every day, every day, every day. I did the 30 days, 30 days. And I'll tell you, that program was a game changer. If anybody, I mean, even, and they're still out there now.
Yeah.
And it really um, gave me the belief and the fortitude to keep going.
Sure.
And I did. And so it was a big game changer because something has to jolt you, right?
Mhm.
And that was my starting point. And I don't think it was an accident. Walk in that night, it's on, I order it, boom, it's
Yeah.
on its way. So I want to say this to everybody that's on here, because I know you have a bunch of people on here.
Yeah.
Take your shot and figure out how to make it happen. Because I was saying, I can't do this, I can't do that. And I had to flip the switch of how can I?
I love that.
Mhm. Changed a lot,
I love it. So you're using the word I can't, I can't, I can't. And that word is powerful
right?
because when someone says I can't, they are believing themselves
That's right.
that they can't.
Correct.
I can.
Yeah. The can't is cementing in your mind that you can't. So your
Right.
brain blocks off option
Right.
versus when you say, how can I? Then your brain will start figuring out ways it can. Make
Yeah.
sense?
It
That's,
definitely makes
that's what
sense.
I figured out in my brain anyway.
Yeah.
That's how it works. My brain works.
Yeah. It's it's true. I don't like to say I can. And the reason why I say I don't like to say I can is because I do catch myself sometimes still saying, "Oh no, I can't do that." That is not true. I
Well,
pause, take a breath, close my eyes, I look up. And in my mind, I'm saying to myself, why did I just say that?
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
Let's be positive. Let's move on. Let's move forward.
And
Challenge yourself.
exactly.
Mhm.
I remember seeing that the word impossible. And then I saw it broken down. I am possible. I'm
Mm.
like, that's pretty good. Because if you believe something's possible, you could do it. But if you believe it's impossible, you can't do it. You've
Yeah.
already said to your brain and the ether and everything else that, nah, it's not going to happen. So why? And most people say, why bother? It's not going to
Yeah.
happen anyway. Right?
Sure. Sure. Yeah. You turned on the television. You Tony Robbins infomercial.
Right.
Got the package in the mail.
Right.
You started studying. What happened after?
I wanted, I immediately wanted to go to his live event.
Yes.
And that's what I asked for Christmas that year.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I did. I went to the event by myself. It was in
Mhm.
Denver, Colorado. I'll never
Yeah.
forget it. It was freezing out. And I went there and I upgraded myself. I said, I'm going to figure a way to get the best seat. That's
Sure.
it. I'm going to be in the front. That's
Mhm.
what I'm doing. And it was freezing outside. And walks across hot coals. I
Yes.
did that at the time. And I think he still does. And it was freezing. But I went to that event to learn and become. And I remember um, they have a crew, they have people that help support the team when you're
Sure.
there. And people were meeting and practicing. And I kind of snuck around the corner to see what they were doing. I said, man, I want to be like that, you know? And so I just started believing that why not me? Why not now? And
Mm.
that's what just started, it turned it up a little bit more, a little bit more. And along the way, don't get me wrong, everything did not go perfect after that. I
Sure.
still had my hills and valleys and I still had things to go over and do. So it wasn't like boom, it took off like a rocket ship,
Yeah.
but I was in I was on a better path. Does that
Mhm.
make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah. You were at a better path with yourself,
Right.
right? To do things
Exactly.
better, to
Exactly.
move yourself to a just a different direction, a positive direction,
Yeah.
not going back to that day of the promotion, saying to yourself, "Why?" So,
Yeah.
great. So you went to, see Tony Robbins. What happened after that?
Well, it's funny you ask that because I remember because I started crewing his events. That's what
Mhm.
they're called.
Sure.
You can go there. You have to be accepted, of course, and you could be part of the crew. And I decided to do that. And I didn't get paid for it, but I knew I would get better. And so at the end of the night, Tony would have a group meeting with all his, people that were helping out. And he brought up Napoleon Hill.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and Jim Rome, which I followed as well.
Yeah.
And so he said something about Napoleon Hill. And I'm like, "Oh." So I went back home and I went and looked it up. Now remember, 20 years ago or 20 years
Right.
ago, the internet was, 25 years ago, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, but I saw it and I ordered the book and I started reading them.
Mhm.
Right. Here's the funny part, JB.
Sure.
I didn't know he never said think and grow rich. I just saw this one book came up and I'm like, okay, well, I don't know which
Yeah.
one to read. So I'll read this one. And it was The
Yeah.
Law of Success, which was 2,000 pages long.
Oh, my.
A lot of
Yeah.
people don't know that because
Sure.
that was the book that Think and Grow Rich really came from.
Mhm.
It's the big book, then they put it down into Think and Grow Rich,
Sure.
a book that's 400 pages, I think, or 350 or whatever. And from 2000, because a lot of people aren't going to read 2,000
Of course.
pages,
Yeah.
but I did. And then after I got done, and I find out there's this other. And I'm like, oh Lord, what is that about? I go,
Yeah.
maybe I really needed to read it,
Yeah.
right? So I did. And that um, was a huge game changer for me because it just flipped the switch even more for some missing pieces. Because
Sure.
I always tell people you need mentors in your life. And a lot of people say, well, I can't pay for a coach. I can't do that. You don't have to worry about that. Get a book, study it, and apply it. But
Mhm.
don't just read it, study it, apply it. That's what you have to do as fast as you can so that you can make that incremental progress in your life.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did. And, um, and then I studied Jim Rohn. I mean, I can name them all because
Yeah.
I had mentors and coaches, but I'm a lifelong learner. And I think that anybody on here, if you really want to have the success you want in life, you have to be that lifelong learner. I
Yeah.
don't want to go to an event where I'm the smartest person in the room because then I'm in the wrong room. I want to
Right.
learn
Hmm.
from other people that are
Yeah.
just you know, where I would like to be, right?
Yeah.
Where I'm
Absolutely.
striving. So yeah.
Yeah. So you use a mentor coaches.
Mhm.
So if an audience member is watching or listening to this episode today and they're stuck, going to self-sabotage or don't know the direction, why is it so important to have a mentor or coach?
It is important. And uh, like I said, for years, I just did the books. That's it. So don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Start from where you are, get in there, but then find some wise people around you that are better. You don't have to pay for it. What you can do is find people that are wiser in areas you'd like to get better. Ask them to hey, can I buy you lunch? Can I ask you a few questions? And start there because they'll tell you, because they want they're gonna tell you,
Yeah.
they're not gonna hide it.
Sure.
Um, but be ready with good questions. Don't waste somebody's time. When I say that, just add surface questions. And so I always tell people learn how to ask good questions and listen and
Hmm.
write down what they say, journal it, and figure out what you got from that conversation. But that's a great way to start.
Yeah. Yeah. Getting a mentor or coach, I personally agree. I'm in that process currently. So it's again, I'm developing, I'm learning
Mhm.
and
And that's
each and every day. Yeah. And I'm learning to like you said it, you nailed it. Ask the right question or how to ask the questions.
correct. There's some really good books on that, you know,
Sure.
and learning how to ask questions
Yeah.
and then get work on. So if you're going to meet somebody, write down your questions and do your homework about them. Don't
Sure.
just go and like, well, so tell me about you. No, just like on here, learn a little bit about that person. Then you could ask better, direct questions that will help affect you
Yeah.
for the future.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So while we in the topic of mentors, I believe a mentor sat you down and spoke about your wins and your losses.
Yeah.
Let's dive into that a little bit.
Yeah. That was an interesting session.
Sure.
That and the reason why, remember earlier I said I had my ups and downs, and I
Yes.
did. And so what ended up happening was one of my mentors said, "Hey, Diane, I've got something for you." And I'm like, "Okay, what do you want me
Yeah.
to do?" And he took out a piece of paper and he said, "What I want you to do is a timeline of your successes, like how were in business and how you rose up and what happened there.
Sure.
What caused it to do that. And then show me the timelines and what happened." And lo and behold, there was a pattern.
Ooh.
And then I'm like, oh, I saw it as plain as day. He didn't even have to tell me. It wasn't the fear of failure for me. It was the fear of success because
Mm.
in inside of me, think about it, I was that girl that didn't think I was good enough, smart enough in there. So that was creeping in a little bit when I
Yes.
went there. And so it kind of made me shrink back a little bit. So I had to overcome that. But I would say anybody on here right now, if you feel stuck, you need to do an audit on yourself. It'll come clear. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I did that. We do stuff to ourselves and we don't even realize it,
Sure.
you know?
And give us some examples of how do you do an audit of yourself?
Okay, so that's a great question. So when you're doing an audit, you're basically getting a piece of paper.
Sure.
And in that piece of paper, you're going to say, okay, I had this job at this date. and I got a promotion, or I got mad at my boss, I
Mhm.
quit the job, it wasn't what I thought, and boom, you went down again. So what was the reason that you left? Or why were you leaving? Or
Sure.
did the job end? And
Sure.
you didn't cause it, but it ended. So then you go there and like, okay, write the note down and go back. Got another job. We all had jobs before, right?
Yeah,
And so
absolutely.
then you go write the other job down and like, okay, it wasn't a match,
Mhm.
like whatever. It wasn't what I thought it was, whatever it was.
Yes.
Write it down, why you left, or they said, nice knowing you, whatever. And you'll see something. You should see something. You're going to see a pattern of either sometimes I've seen them before. I got mad at my boss. I got mad at the lead. I got mad at this. I got mad at that. But
Sure.
never once do we look back at ourselves wondering why we caused it.
Mm. Yeah.
We're up, it's the blame game. So this causes you to look at yourself and not blame anybody else. I got this thing I put in front of me all the time. If
I
it's
love
to
that.
be, it's up to me.
Love that.
And
Yes.
so I'm like, okay, um, what did I do to cause it?
Yes.
Right. And so then I wrote notes. So if anybody's on here and, wondering, I'm glad you asked that question because I could dive into it a little bit more. Does that make sense to you,
It
JB?
does. Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
then once you journal it, you're going to see a little pattern happening. You should see it.
Mhm.
And then you, what do you got to do? Look at it and say, can I do to change that pattern?
Mm.
Right?
Sure. Sure. And make sure you follow. That's the key. You could journal and say how to move forward, right? You
Right.
will write it down, but you have to have that again mindset,
Right.
motivation, push
Yeah.
to move forward. Yeah,
Right.
and do it.
And you have to have the guts to do it,
Mm,
because
absolutely.
looking at yourself and seeing that is not fun.
Mhm.
But the rewards are far better than not doing it. So I've learned a long time ago, either you pay for the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. So either you're paying for the pain of discipline or you're going to pay for the of, pain of regret. Oh my,
Yes.
what? That's a tongue twister.
Yeah.
Um, because I didn't want to go through life and regret. So I
Mm,
want to live with no regret. So I'd rather have the discipline and the pain of doing it and making it happen, just like you're celebrating your 50th,
yes.
episode. I'm sure there was things along the way for you, but you
Mm,
pushed through and you did
yeah,
it,
yeah,
right? When other people
absolutely.
are still getting ready to launch their first episode,
Yeah, takes a
right?
lot of work. Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
So Dan, you are the founder of the Lampe Company.
Yes.
Talk to us about the company and what do you do?
Well, I'm in the financial services and insurance business, have been for
Mhm.
20 years.
Sure.
And let me see. So I went from plastic injection molding. There were some other things, the little things along the way.
Sure.
But actually I was in the mortgage world briefly just before that.
Mhm.
And I never really wanted to do insurance. I wasn't like, oh my gosh, I want to be in insurance. That
Yeah,
wasn't like the dream of my life, right?
sure.
But when I realized what it could do for other families and help families understand uh, their leaving a legacy or make sure their families are protected and whatever they want to do in life. So
Yeah.
um, I started it, and then I decided to grow an agency to teach and train and mentor other agents. And that's what I've been doing for the past 20 years. And it's been great because I can use my passion, which is to teach and train and mentor other people. And it's doing good things for the world because it's a win-win, because when they get better,
Yes.
they're going to help more clients get the right things. Because I always want people to make sure we're doing the right coverage, helping families, making a difference. And then that to me, a lot of times people think they have to do, oh, I'm passionate about whatever it is. But
Yeah.
let's say you're passionate
Mhm.
about golf. Well, not
Yeah.
everybody can be a golfer,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So what do? Do something that you feel that fits you. Like for me, I had to reframe it. We're in the people business, and oh, by the way, we have insurance products. That's
Sure.
how I look at it.
Sure.
And when I reframed it that way, then let's say you're doing really well in your business, you can go golfing whenever you
Absolutely.
want.
You can. Yeah.
Because a lot of times we're taught, do your passion. And then all of a
Mm.
sudden your passion becomes work. And then it's not fun.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's me. Somebody else can say, oh no, I want to do my passion. Good for you. But for me, that's not what I wanted.
Exactly. I hear you. I hear you. So we spoke about the word can't
Yes.
a little while ago. I believe you tell your agents that they can't use the word can't for 3 days. And that's
Yeah.
powerful. Why?
Well, I'll tell you, it's a funny story because one of my agents, with we were talking on the phone. And he goes, Diane, I can't do this. I can't do that. I
Mhm.
can't do this. And I said, whoa, because we were on a coaching call together.
Sure.
Because I
Yeah.
work with the agents and I'm working and helping them. And as long as they want to take the coaching, I'm going to tell them. And I'm like, okay, well, do you really want me to tell you?
Right. Right.
I asked that. And he said, yeah, definitely tell me. I said, now that you told me everything you can't do, I want you to tell me what you can do
Mm,
first.
mhm.
And he was like, oh, I just never thought of that. Right.
Yeah.
And I said, here's what I'd like you to do. Are you game? And he said, yes, I'm game. What do you want me to do? I don't want you to say can't for 3 days. I want you to say, how can I
Sure.
instead? And that's how you flip switches for people. And I do the reason why I can say these are things I did for
Yeah.
myself,
Right.
right?
Right.
I mean, I'm not telling people anything that I haven't done or wouldn't do.
Yeah.
These are things that I learned along the way. And I said, let me give you some wisdom because
Right.
these are some things I had to change. And
Sure.
where do you learn them? Inside books, on
Mhm.
podcasts, people that are better at you than you in the areas you want to
Yeah.
get better. That's how you get better.
Yeah.
But if you don't apply them and you just listen to the podcast or read the book or doing something and you don't apply it, you just
Yeah.
got information overload,
Yeah.
right?
Love that. I love that. Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
You know, what is your push today, and what motivates you to work with others and coach others?
That that is a great question because leading and coaching and teaching other people is a passion for me and I don't look at it as work.
Sure.
To me, it's like, who can I help get a little bit better today so their family's proud of them and it could go for legacies, their children um, become better because they became better. They
Mm.
became better husbands, wives, whatever. They became better fathers, mothers because they changed this in here.
Yes.
And that's what drives me. And then so many people have goals and dreams and they just don't know how to get it. So I help them map it out and say, let's back into it. What do you want it to look like by when?
Yeah.
Okay, let's figure it out. And
Yeah.
that's my passion. And then when they come back to me, JD, and said, I did it. Oh my gosh, this happened and that happened, or they were
Yeah.
on a trip that we were on, and their family's eyes are so um,
Excited.
excited.
Yeah.
That is the reward.
I love that. That's great.
Yeah.
So earlier we spoke about the Napoleon Hill Foundation.
Yes.
And fast forward, you are actually now a certified instructor with the Napoleon Hill Foundation.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Well, I got that designation back in 2016. And I really did it. not so I could sell coaching or do that. I did it for more personal development, and
Sure.
I did it so I could serve my team even more. And so, taking the certification wasn't easy, but I had read all those books for a long time, so it was
Right.
probably easier than most that did, but what I'm able to do and what happened is because I did that certification, one of the things, uh, during that time, um, Havilah, who's a friend of mine, she and I
Sure.
were we met in the class together. We were both getting certified. We ended up with a book published by the Napoleon Hill Foundation for children. And what the neatest part about that is that now we got another generation of young children learning the principles, right? That
Yes.
easy. We got it in a poem fashion,
Hmm.
easy illustrations. And all the funds go back to the Napoleon Hill Foundation because I'm so grateful to what I've learned along the way that I want to make sure that the foundation is strong so more people can learn about these principles that can change their life. And I'm
Sure.
saying the word can change their life
I
because
love it.
it only can change your life if you study it and apply it.
Right. Right. You got to apply it. You got to
Apply
make
it.
sure you apply it. You could
Right.
study, but you have to apply it.
Yeah. And so I do masterminds within my business with the agents. I do
Hmm.
masterminds all the time in coaching. That they just get that from me. And now I've expanded and I'm doing a YouTube live every
Hmm.
week for 17 weeks, JV. I know I'm like,
Well,
okay, let's just do this. And it's for free. If anybody
yeah.
wants to come on there, you can just go to my YouTube channel and then sign up for it and come on and take the first step for yourself. And the first step is always the hardest, right? They
Yeah.
always
It
say that
is.
the first day of working out is always the
Right.
hardest of making
Right.
the decision. It's,
Yeah.
it's making the decision that you're going to do it. So,
Yes.
wanted to thank you for letting me share that.
No, thank you. And I will be posting the links on the episode description. So thank you
Yes.
again, Diane.
Yes.
Then you are also an author while we into that topic now.
Yeah.
You have a book,
I have a couple
identifying
of books
your wealth
actually.
code. Yeah, that is true. You do have multiple books.
Well,
But it
that I've got some other ones, but I don't, these are my
right.
favorite.
Yes, yes, I love it. But I would like to talk a little bit about, identifying your wealth code DNA,
Right.
the code, the secrets to building the wealth.
Yeah. I did
Talk
that
to us about the
because
book.
I didn't know how to do it. I
Sure.
so the when I first got started in the, financial services and insurance, nobody really see, we only know what our parents have taught us, right?
Yes.
And the
Yes.
education that we get from that. And my parents were great, right? But, they were a typical middle
Yeah.
class
Sure.
family.
Sure.
My parents both worked, they had jobs, and we really never talked about finances.
Mhm.
So I didn't know what to do, right? And
Sure.
so when I learned it, I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't know this. Other people don't know this either. And they don't
Mm.
even know where to start.
Yeah.
And I break it down very easy in there in the book of how do you identify how you think about money.
Mhm.
You know, there's different quadrants of what people think about and what to do. And then we go into how to do it, how to identify it, and how to educate yourself and how to educate your family so that you can change not only your legacy, but your children's
Yep.
legacies. And but it has to start with ourselves because like now, I mean, we were
Mhm.
never taught really. I don't know about you, JV, but I was never taught.
No, at all. 0.
Zero, nada. And so I love the fact that in my business, we help everyone.
Sure.
We're a lot of companies, they just want to help the top of the tiers.
Mhm.
We help everyone, even if it's from basic policies or all the way. And if they want to create legacies, we can do that too. But they have to know what it is. And that's why I put the book together so they can identify it and say, oh, that's me. And then it gives you some tools that you can
Yeah.
change it. Make
Yeah.
sense?
I love that. Absolutely.
Just simple.
Yeah. And I want to talk on the topic of wealth for a few more minutes.
Sure.
Why is wealth important? Let's say there's a family watching or listening to this episode, or a teenager, maybe someone in their young 20s that's in college. Let's dive in and talk. Why is wealth important?
Well, I think wealth is a all encompassing thing.
Yes, it is.
It's
Mhm.
not just money.
Mhm.
Your wealth could be that you have a wonderful family,
Yes.
you have great health, you have all of that. It's all encompassing, I
Mhm.
feel. It's just not money, because I just have a different outlook on money than most people, because the good thing about money is you could always make more if you know
Yes.
how to make it.
Sure.
So you have to learn how to make it and keep it.
Yeah.
Or keep some of it and, in tithe and do the other right
Mhm.
things for other people. And that's what we talk about in the book. And
Yeah.
so, um, eliminating GoFundMe pages and eliminating, people stressed out. What are they going to do if they lose their job? How am I going to keep going? People think they're going to live forever until they're not, or they're healthy forever until they're not. And I've seen people that want to wait and like, oh, no, I'm going to wait a little bit. I'm young. I don't need to get this. But we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow with our health.
Right.
And so the sooner somebody takes care of that, a lot of the policies and programs that we have that'll take you through even up to 120.
Right.
So
Right.
then they don't have to think about it. And I tell people you can just breathe better at night. You can sleep better at night, knowing that you're protecting your family. And to me, that's another wealth, the wealth of health. And
Sure.
it's all encompassing. But if that makes sense, I know it's like, what is she talking about? Because, I've seen a lot of people that are wealthy and not very happy. So you got to
True.
be happy, you know,
Right.
if you're not happy now, having all the money doesn't mean you're going to be happy. You're going to have money,
Sure.
but you're going to be still not probably that,
Yeah.
because you got to grow into that person. Right.
Sure.
And I feel that if parents would talk to their children about it and educate them, that's really why I love this book right here. This
Keep that book up. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see the book that Dan has up.
this one was great for children, even though it's like, I don't know, 8, 10 years old. But
Sure.
look, it's so illustrated in their
Yes.
kids. So they're gonna want to, I have people that have their kids read it. They read it to their kids every night.
Sure.
They take a little chapter and then they go. And it teaches them about money. It teaches them
Mhm.
about everything.
Yeah.
And so and I some parents say to me, hey, that helped me too.
Yeah. True. Right.
That's the basics.
Yeah.
But you would be surprised. My goal is to just get out there and let the world know that, you can be more, you can have more, you can do more, you can help other people. And
Yeah.
when you live your life like that, it's kind of fun.
I love that. Dan, thank you for sharing that. That's inspiring. And I agree. Talking wealth can mean so much. But if you start young, believe me, but 20 years will go by so fast.
Right.
And if you don't start young, 20 years later, you're going to say, what did I do?
Yeah.
But again, I always say this, it's never too late to start.
Exactly. It's never too late.
Correct.
Here's the point. Start from where you are, but the
Mhm.
important part is start,
That is true.
you
Yeah.
know? And I tell people like, sometimes people will say to us, well, I'm too sick. Nobody will cover me.
Mhm.
You know, have you checked it out?
Right.
Probably not. Or
Right.
they go, oh, we do even policies for children that are 15 days old, and you're
Sure.
setting your family up for the future.
Mhm.
So there's so many great things you can do, and you can use it to set up your retirement, to set up things for your future so you
Yeah.
can sleep at night. So I
Yeah.
appreciate you asking that question, because as you can tell, I'm passionate about that too.
You
And
are.
that's why I want the agents on my team, or I don't like to say my team because I be telling them I'm on their team
Mhm.
because we're in the team together to go
Sure.
out there and make a difference each and every day.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree, and you're welcome.
Thank
Dan, you also, a podcast let me say that again,
Hey, we're
rephrase.
both getting there today.
You are also a podcast host.
Right.
Be the leader people want to follow. Love the title.
Thank you.
Talk to us about your podcast.
Well, I started this podcast because I think a lot of times people get confused about being a leader.
Mhm.
Because sometimes if you're in a job and they give you a title and you're a leader, that doesn't mean you've earned being a leader that people want to follow, because there are a couple of different types of leaders. So I'm
Sure.
talking about how to be an authentic leader, how to be a leader that people want to follow. Why do people not follow a
Mhm.
certain type of habit or the way they conduct themselves to the team? I want people to feel wanted. I always tell people this. They come on the team, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna be your biggest cheerleader,
Yeah.
even when you don't believe in yourself.
Mhm. Absolutely.
People need that.
Yes.
Instead of saying, you didn't do this right, you didn't do this
Right.
right, blah, blah, blah. That to me, that's not the leadership I would want to follow. And then for
Mhm.
me, but when you're become the leader, and I think a lot of times people weren't taught that either. How do you become a leader? But I will guarantee you this: if you have children, you are a leader
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
So I say, I'm not a leader. Yes, you are. If you have children and you're raising them, they're watching you, they're following
Mhm.
your footsteps.
Yes.
They're doing what you do, good and bad.
Yeah.
So
It's you nailed it. It's true.
yeah.
And what I hear you saying, Diane, is a team,
Mhm.
right? There's no I in team,
Right.
right? And you win together and you lose together. So you're working on a project, a sales core, or whatever it is, and you win, then the team wins together.
Correct.
But let's say you lose an account, the team failed together. But then we say, why did we fail? How can we improve so the next time we won't lose that account?
Correct.
So that's a leader in my eyes when
Yes.
you coach and
Coach.
teach others. Let's win together and we lose together.
Exactly. And the biggest thing I would say to you, JV, if somebody's this on here listening to this, it's like the best thing you can do is get wisdom.
Mhm.
If you didn't get anything from today,
Yeah.
get wisdom
Yeah.
and get around people that you want to be like, whether
Yes.
it's on a podcast or if it's on a YouTube or if it's in a book or if it's somebody that you know from church, whatever.
Mhm.
Like I said earlier, get wisdom.
Yes. Yes. So, Dan, I'd like to ask my guest one final question.
Okay.
What final thoughts or message you would like to share with the world?
I would like to share this. If you're sitting here and you're listening to this and it's almost at the end, you're here because you want more. And now I would like to say this to you. You were meant for more. The only thing it's waiting on is you to take that first step, to ask the question to yourself. Because a lot of times people put these dreams when you're younger, you have all these big dreams,
Right.
and then they wane and they kind of drift away. I want you today to take and remember some of those dreams and write them down and start dreaming again.
Mm.
And if you're going to dream big. That's what I would tell you today. Don't put yourself in the box, meaning like, okay, this is my comfort zone and this is all I'm going to do and this is all I'm going to be. Get outside and keep making that box a little bit bigger, right?
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. You don't have to go like this right away. You could go like this and then make it like that and make it like that so that
Mhm.
your comfort zone becomes bigger and bigger because you're meant for more. So that's what I'd like to leave you with is just go and do and be. And hey,
Yeah.
guess what? If you fail, remember I said either you win or you learn. And all you got to do is write down what you're not going to do next time.
Exactly. Dan, thank you. That was amazing and powerful. I really loved our conversation
I
today.
loved it too,
So
Jake.
thank you for taking time out of your day and coming on the Influence Exchange. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And they'll be able to find me, right? You'll give them all the information.
Absolutely. Will do.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Bye.
Before I go, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for pressing play. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching on YouTube. I truly appreciate you taking the time to be here with me. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to hit the subscribe button, give this video a like, and leave a comment letting me know what you enjoyed most about this episode. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform, please follow the show so you never miss out on an episode. And if you have a moment, please leave a review and share the 2 biggest takeaways you got from today's conversation. Your feedback helps the podcast grow and allows us to reach more people looking for inspiration, leadership, and personal growth. Remember, your influence grows every time you choose courage over comfort. I'm JV. Thank you for being part of the Influence Exchange. Stay curious, stay consistent, and keep influencing others. If you enjoyed this episode, I had a great conversation with Rachel Emerson Clark. Rachel is an entrepreneur who helps executives and business leaders increase their capacity, improve their well-being, and lead with greater purpose, confidence, and resilience. I encourage you to go back and listen to episode 49 of the Influence Exchange, where we discuss burnout, work-life balance, leadership, influence, and how to build both mental and physical capacity to perform at your best. Thank you for listening and watching, and I'll see you on the next episode.